Well, guys. Oh, I had like a little bit of lag for a second. Anyways, hello everyone. Okay, I'm actually gonna take my headset off. Sorry, you saw me tweak for a second. My ears and eyes do not feel great, but hi everyone. It has been a chaotic weekend. I'm sure a lot of people are very familiar with that. Welcome in, guys. It's just gonna be chatting today. Not gonna be too long of a stream, because we're mainly just going to be talking about everything. It's been wild. First, kind of want to check up on everyone in chat. How is everyone feeling today? Are you guys doing all right? I know it's been a wild ride the past couple days, especially for the IDV people in here. If you've been active on anything. Oh, hold on. The ads are attacking a couple people. They have a few seconds here. But I know it's been crazy. It has been crazy. Also, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, the comp community. Now, I will be honest, high tier community is always messy, but the comp community, especially lately, it's been a time. That's for sure. It has been a wild couple days, as many of you have seen, mainly regarding the Koa teams, in particular KON and mainly Omni. And yesterday definitely added a lot of fuel to the fire. So there's definitely going to be follow-up on that, most likely. I know even China server is also demanding for them to be banned from competing. Whether or not that happens, I will say I can't say it's likely. The reason why is because, qualifiers are already done. Regarding NetTease, I don't know if they'll make that decision. KON, wait, did something happen with KON and B4U? I know that B4U won against KON last night. It was a sweep. Pretty sure I've never seen. Even when B4U beat Zeta, I don't think I've seen this community as united to see B4U win ever against another team. Check Discord. Okay, I will take a look. Did something new happen? Oh boy. Have they ever stopped a team from competing in Koa before? A lot of the time it's preemptive rather than someone who already qualifies. It's usually preemptive. I don't think it's ever been something that happens after the fact. Oh, that's scary. I'm not quite sure if that's public information, but that is a little interesting. I'm not gonna really say what I just saw because I'm not quite sure if that is being shared, but let's see here. Not gotcha. Roger. But yeah, it's been chaotic. It's been definitely chaotic recently. I mean, alone in the IDV community between certain Psyche did expose KON. Gotcha. Well, I'll keep quiet on that for a second because I think things will definitely come to light as we've seen. And also, I did post on my story last night about it on TikTok, but big shout out to both PR and GSL since they were definitely two big factors in a lot of this coming to light. Pearl exposed KON and I followed up. Yeah, there's been a lot of information coming out. There's been a lot. It feels like it's never ending almost. But between certain creators coming back, as you guys know, and all of that business, and now this on top of it, it probably feels very demoralizing for a lot of people in the IDV community. I'll be honest. Oh yeah, 100%. Nothing will be the same, especially since we're talking about teams that a lot of people looked up to, right? And it feels like trust has been broken for a lot of people. Almost like a betrayal in a sense. But at the same time, I feel like it's also a chance for a lot of people to kind of unify in a way, as maybe weird as that may sound. But yes, that is what I'm worried about as well. I know right now it's a scary time. not just in the community, but real world events. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of frustration. Entirely understandable. And we're gonna get through this in general. I know, like, I'm not one to speak for everyone, but 100% the community is gonna get past this eventually. Regardless of what the outcome's going to be for this COA, it's good to see that we are holding people accountable. I think that is a good step in the right direction, because I will say I think this community has had a history of not holding people accountable. And we talked about that before in regards to that kind of happening in this community, where not many people get held accountable for what they do. But definitely at this point, seeing that not just a couple of people are trying to hold these people accountable, but essentially the entire community and over multiple servers. Like, it's not just NAEU, it's China server as well. So I think that's a really good sign. Yeah, you know, when Pit hung up on Zeus, I thought it was Zeus hanging up, because I was like, oh, he clocked and then hung up, you know? And everyone thought the same too, until it was like, nope, apparently he hung up on Zeus. I will say everything that happened yesterday in the live stream definitely added a lot of fuel to the fire. 100%. Also, hello, Yuko. Because that's... I will say it was already bad to begin with. Everything that got exposed, how it was handled on Twitter, even the apologies, I'm 99% sure were written by the same person. As someone who used to major in English, the diction is like the exact same. The verbiage is the exact same. Pretty sure it was written by the same person, posted on brand new accounts in their name. And they also were not appropriate. And not only that, but the live to begin was mainly excuses, mainly lying on top of it, until Zeus stepped in. And I will give credit where credit is due, in the sense where Pit finally did take accountability in a sense of being honest, but had to be pushed forward for that. And again, exposing that there was a lot of lying that happened, the awareness, nothing happened, nothing changed. That alone, it really came to light in that sense. But yeah, it was definitely enabling. And I am someone who will say that I think being complacent is just as bad as who is guilty. 100%, that is something that I believe. If you're going to be complacent in something and you're going to let it happen, it's just as bad as doing it yourself. And I am a very, very strong believer of that. So you definitely want to make sure that if you see things like this happen, and especially if you don't agree with it, you got to step up one way or another. I know people have different priorities. There's a lot of nuance to certain situations, and I understand that. Especially when it comes to, oh, hey, I want to go to COA. I want to do this. I want to win. I want to be number one. I get it, okay? But there's other fish in the sea. There's other people. And at the same time, it's like, do you want to be associated with that kind of person? Do you want that to define you? Because the people around you will always define you. Regardless if that's who you think you are, even if there's someone else, you're keeping them around. You're letting that happen. You're accepting it. You're enabling it. That also reflects on you as a person. Even if it's not quite you, that is still who you choose to be surrounded by. So yes, you guys are all little cubs at the bottom. Yeah, guilty by association and knew about it. And we're not talking about this happened multiple years ago. We're not talking about, oh, this is something that it was beyond knowledge. We've seen the screenshots. He enabled this. He let this happen. He saw it happen. He joked about it, and that was back in July. And then we saw it happen in November. We saw it happen literally last month in February. So it's definitely more than just, oh, it was a one-time mistake, or this happened, or yes, we fixed it, because it wasn't fixed. Even if they were spoken to, it still wasn't fixed. And this is also something to consider as well, is that a lot of the time when this stuff happens, especially if it's an adult, and I will say, here's the thing. I don't think, and this goes for other people who have maybe been called out, being a minor does not excuse derogatory behavior or harmful behavior, especially now when people are telling you otherwise and you still do it. That is still a reflection of you. being a minor cannot be this guard against accountability or against trying to be better as a person. Like, I can tell you, even when I was 13 years old, I've never uttered a slur in my life. Like, that is just, it's really not hard. Now, can people eventually, maybe at some point, be led like towards the wrong path because of how they were raised or the people they surround themselves? Yes. But when things are trying to change, people are telling you otherwise, and you still don't listen, and instead of being like, hey, okay, you're right, it's wrong. All right, I'm immature, blah, 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 you know. Also, oh my gosh, hello, Raiders. Sorry, you're coming in at a little bit of an awkward time. Let me give a quick shout out here. We are talking about some drama in the community. But hello, Ray. Hello. Give me one moment here. Also, thank you so much. We're talking about some serious things happening in the IDV community right now. So feel free to hop out if it's a little bit much or if it's something you're not familiar with and don't want to get familiar with. Let me give a quick shout out here. There we go. Also, welcome back. But there's definitely, there's a lot going on. Also, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Sorry, my like throat is like, I've had the sinus infection, so if you guys hear me like clearing my throat or like dying, that's probably why. And I want to say too, I'm not streaming this because I want this to be a clout farm or anything like that. It's more so because I want this to be a place of discussion for the people that want to be able to talk about it, people who want to learn more or share with other people who may not be aware, and also to have a place of discussion that isn't that stream from yesterday, for example, since I'll be honest, I don't think it was constructive. It was not a constructive stream or place for a lot of the conversation to happen, as well as Twitter is always going to be kind of fragmented as well. Yes, partially about KON, but also about Omni. Yeah. KON and Omni. Also, hello, Luca. Yeah, they dug a deeper hole from themselves. It was already a really bad situation. Not only were there slurs involved, but also regarding sexual assault jokes and regarding jokes about being into minors, or maybe even truth. I'm not even quite sure. I've seen a decent amount. I'm not even quite sure what I have or haven't seen at this point. There's just a lot. There was a lot to it. I know that I believe someone is going to be compiling all of the information as well as like a TLDR of everything that's happened, and we'll be posting that. So I will also share it when the time comes. That way people can be informed on it, and you don't have to worry about trying to go between this post and this post, because a lot of it, like I said, is fragmented. How people behave in Copycat is a great indicator of where the community is at. Yeah, it's rough. It is rough. Also, oh, hello, Num. Hello. Num Zero, welcome in. We're talking about comp. The people in comp right now regarding all the slurs and the racism and the essay jokes and everything that's been going on. Yes, they are putting together a doc right now, so definitely keep an eye out on that. I fear there's not a single unproblematic NAU team to cheer on. That's just really disappointing. I know, that's why I said, like, it feels very demoralizing for the IDV community right now. There's so much going on. It's just, we see some of our creators, whether it's because they were exposed for being into minors, or because they're exposed for being like transphobic or misogynist, etc., or if it's a matter of our comp teams doing stuff like this and having this type of derogatory behavior, right? It's rough. It's hard, and I get that, because I bet that a lot of people are probably like, is it even worth like being into the IDV comp scene when it comes to NAU? Is NAU even gonna like like, it feels like the people representing us are what's also actively hurting our community at the same time, right? Yeah, the year just started. It's March, guys. Yeah, just nuke the whole server. That's like, it's just sad. And it's like there's honestly no words for it. It almost feels like at this point that for a lot of the community, it almost seems irredeemable. But I promise it's not. I promise there are good people in this community, and there are people that genuinely care about that too. It's just hard. It's really hard when this happens because it feels like we take major steps back in the community, seeing that the people leading our community are like this, right? Also, yes, I do agree. The IDV fandom definitely has a misogyny issue, but I've talked about that before. It's always something that gets rushed under the rug. It's just crazy. Dude, okay, I saw the clip of like Zeus talking and then just gets hung up on Twitter as well. Like I was there when it happened, but I saw the clip and I kind of chuckled because it was actually like, it was like a little comical. Was it really sad? Yes, it was a little comical at the same time. It was just like, okay, can anyone inform me what the hell is going on in NAEU? There's been too much. We recently, well, I can kind of go step by step here from the beginning of the year for what we know. So to begin, on a little more of a smaller scale, we see that a lot of our high tier players, between just general toxicity, into situations where it's a matter of grooming or even actively being into minors, and then moving on to creators with someone like Santy Devil trying to come back. And if you're not familiar with Santy Devil, he got exposed for also grooming and having relations with minors, as well as what came to light, but this is more of a personal thing, and I will say it's not on the same level as someone like Santy regarding like Faust with his behavior, and then now with the comp situation regarding Omni, KON, Mushin, etc., regarding the racism, the derogatory terms, as well as jokes about SA, etc. Like there's just so much going on. Well, no, does someone know what they did regarding Rum? I know for the KON team, there was a lot going on regarding them all spamming the N-word, especially towards Zeus after inviting him to the server, and racism in general. I know Rum in particular is pretty bad. And then Omni thought about recruiting Rum for their team and even potentially a position, but only really kind of canceled that when they were called out for it. Killer Boss in the past has said the N-word. It is from several years ago, and supposedly there was an apology, and whatnot. And I will say, and this isn't something I'm going to go into depth in right now, it's not entirely my place, especially since there's no statement out, but regarding the situation with Shad. Now, this is something that people are probably going to try to pass off on the fact that we were friends, right? But I will say this is something that she's also deeply hurt by, because she only recently, very recently, started dating Pitt. And I will say that everything she found out was from other people. Everything with Omni and Pitt, they lied to her about like almost everything that they were trying to do and hold accountable for. It was her idea to get rid of Fluff and Lays when she found out. I'm not going to go deeper into depth because there's a couple of private information that I can't expose quite yet, but I know that they're putting it together right now. But a lot of it was her idea to get them out of the team, and it was pushed back on, even though she insisted. She also had a really tough moment yesterday after finding out about the live, because she told Pitt to be honest and take accountability and to remove them from the team. That's not what happened on the live. I will confirm that they are dating. You can see that on Pitt's Twitter, so it's not a secret. There's obviously a lot of nuance there. There's nothing I can say regarding that, but that is what I know about it. Yeah, the people representing us aren't it. They really aren't. Obviously, everyone will have their own opinion regarding that. I will say, depending on what happens here, she wants to leave Omni. I told her that she needs to leave Omni and separate from them because the people there are not good. I will say, though, if that doesn't happen, there's definitely going to be lots of things to consider when that happens. And I'll be honest, it hurts. It's frustrating because I do care a lot about her. So seeing this is definitely heartbreaking, especially because a lot of it is deeper than what it can be. Yeah, that's another thing too, the straight disrespect that Pitt disrespected Shad straight up. Obviously, I'm not going to go into it. It's their relationship. That's not something I'm going to publicize. But it's just, it hurts me. It frustrates me because as someone who was friends with her longer than she even knew the members in Omni, it's just, I don't have words. Like, it hurts because like she was literally crying yesterday about everything happening and like almost on the verge of like a panic attack. And I was just like, it's painful. It really is. This whole situation, like, not only is the fact that this happened and hurting obviously other people, but also too, you gotta take responsibility and accountability where it's due, right? And at the end of the day, every decision we make is also in our hands. So anything that happens from here is on, because we have the information, everything that's happening. So anything that happens here, every decision is up to each individual. And I will say that, and that's the only thing I'm going to say. Regarding what happened in the past, regarding what happened in the past week, what happens from here is the accountability, it's the change that follows, and everything from there. Because that is going to be the true reflection of what happens, period. Regardless if it's a matter of individual people who are involved, the community, or even NetEase. So, but definitely there's going to be things put together, I know that, so definitely give it a little bit of time. Everyone is compiling information, honestly a lot. And I know there's a lot to it, so it's a mess, guys. It's definitely a mess. But I also want to say too, with all of this happening, to try to stay positive. You got to stay positive too. Because even though we see this and we see that these are the people representing us, that this is the reflection that is of our community, right? For NAEU, especially on a global stage, right? These are our teams, our qualifiers, right? So what really matters here is trying to move forward, but not in a way where we brush this under the rug, but in a way where we actually try to take what happens and we make change with it. Whether that's a matter of us holding them accountable, which 100% is what needs to happen, but also trying to make a positive twist on this. Like what I said, like this is a good sign that we are starting to hold people accountable instead of trying to ignore it or brush it under the rug. Which I am really proud of this community for seeing that, because it is something that honestly has been hard for our community to do. I'm gonna be honest. It's been hard for our community to hold people accountable for years. Like I think ever since I've really started playing this game, it's never really been a thing where it's like, oh, this person gets exposed for something crazy like this, but oh, you give it a couple months and it's whatever. Doesn't matter. So to see that there is this amount of outrage and people demanding change and accountability, that's huge. I think that's huge. And I hope that also sets a precedent for people who are going to be like our top players or our creators and whatnot, you know? And I will say, I think it's also a good way, or it's at least an opportunity for a lot of our community too, to really, yeah, the whole sugar thing, dude. He still plays rank. He still tries to contact people. He still tries to contact creators. He's still got loads of people that back him up. It's crazy. It's just, that just goes to show what this community prioritizes, or rather what they don't prioritize. At least what they did. And hopefully that changes too, because there's a lot of people who try their best to kind of push for accountability. A lot of the times they've been silenced or they've been harassed, right? But, and it's a lot. So if you can call it apology, yeah, there's been a lot. There's been a lot going on the CN side too. I have not heard of it, but I know also too on Twitter, it doesn't really reach Twitter for NAEU, but I don't doubt it. I feel like there's just so much. Also, hi, Dev. Yeah, NetEase definitely is focusing more on Marvel Rivals and whatnot. But I feel like they are at least trying to somewhat be involved in a sense. but not necessarily taking a lot of action. Now, is that going to change? Maybe. I'm not going to say it is or isn't because honestly, I don't know that. I don't have that information. I'll say historically, it's not great, but we'll definitely see. Also, hello, lady. Yes, for those of you who are not aware, Sugar IDV is someone who was exposed for being a groomer and having sexual contact with minors. Got exposed several times, is still part of the community actively and tries to come back like every half year. Still plays, but yeah, he because he's a good player, a lot of people just kind of ignore it. Also, hello, Turbulent. Oh yeah, there's a lot of drama. If you haven't, regarding Omni and KON mainly, yeah, it's a lot. This community has a lot, I guess, a lot of ugly parts in the community. Why are there so many of these? I wish I knew. I wish I could say. Yeah, people are weird. That's for sure. But I think seeing this, though, like I said, I think it's a good turning point because I think it is also a reflection of the collective community of trying to hold people accountable, at least start holding people accountable. But I will say this, and this is my concern. Most of the time, when it comes to people being held accountable, it's usually because it's a person that part of the community already wanted to wish the downfall upon. So I kind of want you guys to let that settle in for a second and consider why I say that's a concern of mine. Because if you think about it, you see like, oh, with Santi or with like Omni, these are like teams or people that a chunk of the community already kind of wished upon the downfall in a way on these individuals. Like, sure, here's the thing. When you have a lot of fans, you're gonna have a lot of haters too. And obviously it'll go the extra mile because of people that want to see you fail. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing that they're being held accountable, but I am saying that I think a lot of the reason why they are held accountable is because of the fact that it's more so that people already want to see them fail than some people wanting to see them held accountable. I'm not saying that's entirely the case. I'm not saying that at all, but I think it's also a factor. Also, hello, Google Ducky. I love the name. But yeah, it's disgusting. Saying slurs alone is horrendous. A lot of it boils down to ignorance, and just kind of being an asshole. But the jokes were especially over the top. Especially those were just straight up it was disgusting. It was disgusting. Also welcome in. We are talking about Omni, the situation with Omni and KON. Also, hello Z's, welcome in. But I think, oh yes, there's definitely a couple people platforms still, despite being exposed, that still have platforms. It's definitely a lot. And like I said, I know it's demoralizing. I know that people are losing faith in the community. But let's also take this as a good sign too. And again, a precedent. We're setting a precedent for future teams that are going to be upcoming, that you're going to be held accountable. So you better act right? There's a CC that got canceled for grooming, but the only people talk was that she was bad at IDV. See, that's crazy. I know exactly who you're talking about. I'm pretty sure because I saw it on TikTok. And that is just so weird to me. It feels like people care more about individuals being good at the game than being good people sometimes. And I will say with all of this, I know I said it in the beginning of the stream, but with all this happening, guys, please take care of yourselves. If you need to step away from IDV, if you need to step away from the community, if you need to step away from social media, please do so 100%. What is going on right now, you don't need to let it follow you into your everyday life if it's something that is truly going to hurt you. your health and well-being is more important than what's going on in this community. And like, of course, do we need people like this around? No, not at all. I'll be honest. But you guys need to take care of yourselves too. Like, at the end of the day, and maybe this sounds selfish to say or anything of the sort, but the most important to you should be yourself. So please make sure that if you need a break from this, if this is too much for you, that you are stepping away from this, that you are taking a breath, that you are taking care of yourself. If that is what you need to do, then you need to do it all the time, every day. Because sure, yes, we should hold them accountable, and it's very important as well, but this isn't something that anyone should risk their health for, okay? But yeah, let me see. Yeah, there's a big misogyny issue in IDV. There's a big misogyny issue. It's really a shame to see. But it's also something that I feel like doesn't really get talked about, and when it does, it happens to be kind of kicked away, especially if it's a female content creator that talks about it. We've kind of seen that happen in the past several times. Female content creator talks about it, doesn't really go anywhere. Age server, oh, and admitted to minors, he'd wait for them to turn. That's weird. That is weird. Orpheus-kun, he's a content creator who admitted to minors, he'd wait for them to turn 18 and groom this girl called Moon. That is crazy. Yes, Orpheus, definitely you need to take a break. And that goes for anyone as well. Please, 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 please take a break. Yeah, this community's crazy. What? So he's also racist? That's crazy. Yes, self-love and mental health. That's what matters most here, okay? Also, Johnny, we're talking about some of the latest issues that's been happening in the IDV community. Are you British or American? I'm American. I wouldn't doubt it. A lot of the time when things happen, it somehow turns around to the individuals calling out behavior. Resident Evil 9 is my break. How is that game, by the way? I kind of need to play that eventually. The direct counter video towards geisha gaming. This was a little before I got super involved in the creation sphere, so I'm not quite certain what happened. But I wish we had more non-problematic people to root for. That's so fair. Especially on the comp side. Sure, it's easy to point out certain creators to support. But regarding comp teams, it's a lot harder. Because comp teams especially, like, it's not ever just going to be as easy as, like, oh, this person's problematic, so I'm not gonna support this person or whatnot. It's like you have a whole team that you need to, each individual has to be unproblematic. And I think what matters the most in that situation is not necessarily the team as a whole per se, or not necessarily just the individual, but the team as a whole that is truly going to matter and make a reflection. Also, thank you for the follow, Google Docu. For example, how to handle a situation of having someone problematic on a team is not to do what Omni did. When the situation happens and you see this happen, you approach it, you give them a warning. You say, hey, if this behavior is going to continue and you don't change, then you're going to get kicked. One warning, one and done. And if that happens again, you're out. We don't need these kinds of people representing us. Period. And that is being generous, because I think there are certain behaviors that quite honestly are unacceptable. And this is something I will say. A lot of the time, there are situations where people don't truly change. It's rather they start hiding it in the closet more. They start being more careful. They only do it around certain people. Obviously, not always the case, but it does happen. So yeah, protecting one person leaves a huge backfire, because it's not the right decision. If they are acting out in derogatory or harmful ways and behavior, saying these types of things, treating people the way they are, it's not something you should or could protect, because it will eventually come out. That's crazy. Let me see here. I feel like a huge weight got lifted off the community's shoulders, and it gives me peace of mind, but I'm still stressed. And that's acceptable. That's understandable more so. Not acceptable. Of course it is. like there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of frustration, there's a lot of betrayal and stress surrounding this scenario and this whole situation. And that's entirely understandable. This is something that it's such a large part of our community and something that we've been cheering for, and then this happens, right? So yeah, the crazy stuff happens all the time in this community, and it sucks, especially when it ends up being this, right? A team that we are rooting for to go to Koa to represent us. Also, hello May, we are talking about the community regarding IDV, in particular the recent situation regarding Omni and KON. Can I tell you a story? Sure. Also, can I make an example of this? Go for it, especially if it's regarding this, please feel free. But yeah, there's a lot of things deep rooted in this community. Regarding, there's misogyny, there's roots of transphobia, there's racism, there's ableism, there's everything you can think of under the sun, right? And I think that means it's also all the more important for us to hold people accountable, to set the precedent that we don't need that in this community. We don't need that to be commonplace, right? I've heard that the Omni thing is a thing people have been saying for a long time. I'm honestly not quite sure if that is or isn't a fact. I think there's information that has been known in, I think, probably the inner circle of comp community maybe, but I think generally it's not as well known amongst the community, if that makes sense. I'm not quite sure if I explained that properly there. But more of something that is in the inner community, like inner comp community, like almost like how an inside joke is, right? For a friend group, they know it. But if someone outside, they're not going to be aware. They're not as aware, right? And that's what it takes. Like, we need someone who's inside to kind of reveal that, which again, big shout out to the individuals and the teams who brought this to light, because without them, we wouldn't know, right? We'd be none the wiser. I also feel like NAEU and most English speakers should educate themselves on content creators who are different servers, since I've seen dramas never leave the Asia server and NAU people keep supporting these problematic people. That is a very fair point as well, and a very fair concern. Because like, I feel like we're not aware of what happens, and I'm sure it's just as painful for them when we support problematic creators or players from their servers, for us to support them, as painful as it is for us to see other servers still supporting our creators or our players that are problematic as well, which we do see. Like, it's something that like I wish was a little more easy to make people aware of. But yeah, I don't want to be represented by people who take sensitive and dark topics as humor. That is 100% valid, 100%. And people be wondering why folks don't want to play IDV associated with the game. Yeah, it's rough out here. Smoking kills it. This is true. Yes, Pearl was a very big part of this coming to light. I'm so sorry to hear that, Johnny. It's definitely rough, especially like sometimes, and in general, this goes for any creator or anyone that you look up to. Sometimes people make sensitive comments that comments, especially when you look up to them, they burn all the more. It can be kind of triggering in a way, which is also more the reason why, with what's happened with Omni regarding the topics and regarding what they said, that it is something that's very triggering for those who have gone through scenarios like that, right? It's definitely rough. 487 Angelica exposed for misogyny plus cheating and liking. Oh, people don't remember this specifically. Oh, I do remember hearing about this. I do remember hearing about that. It's really, it's just crazy how widespread these problems are. Yeah, wolves have absolutely zero say in who stays and who doesn't. Yeah, the team should not be disbanded in case like Omni, where the members pick and choose who they want to kick or want to stay. In this case, Omni should be disbanded from within as the members are at fault. I do agree with that. I think that's also best case scenario. I understand too that they want to go to Koa, they want to stay for Koa. Okay, I get it. I understand. But there's also certain, at least, levels of accountability to take beforehand. And will I say, is it selfish to still want to go to Koa while this is happening and not disband before then? Yes. But I also know that they're human too, and obviously people will have those desires and selfish desires. And I will say probably like a lot of people would still want to go to Koa despite that, probably. Like, I wouldn't doubt it. Now, am I saying that's the morally right decision? No, I'm not saying that's the case at all. But that is also a very human desire decision at the same time. Which obviously will still reflect on them. Like 100% it still reflects on them and what their priorities are and where they lie. They will not receive Omni good on China, not at all. China's already also outraged regarding Omni after this reached them. Because I know someone from NAEU shared on Weibo what was going on, and there's massive outrage, and they're calling for them to be banned. Yeah, who doesn't want to go to Koa? Exactly. Like, everyone does. Everyone does. And that's also not a reason to excuse these things. At least it's not a good reason. It's not a proper reason either. Yeah, Koa does give money. I know that there's things that we probably don't know behind the scenes. There's nuance to it that we don't understand because we don't have all the information, which I think will be revealed in due time. So I will say, for those of you who want to keep up with what's happening with Omni and what's happening with KON, especially Omni, do keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on Twitter, especially because I know that's where most of it's going to come to light. For those of you who do not have Twitter, if it is something that you guys do want to be aware of and want to know, I can also ask a couple of the people involved if it's okay for me to make a video on it. Just so, because I know there's a lot of people that also don't have Twitter, that use YouTube, that use Twitch, and if that is something that you guys think would help you become aware, I will go ahead and try to make a video that's more informative than anything about what's going on. That way, in the case that it's something that you want to kind of be in the know in and you want to be aware, I can go for it. But of course, I also want to make sure that that is okay for the people who are kind of like what I call the trailblazers in this situation. But yeah, because I know there's also people who aren't aware because a lot of it is on Twitter and only Twitter, aside from the live that happened. Also, good luck with class. Oh crap, why would we want problematic media? That's crazy. Also, no, you're totally okay, Johnny. Also, hold on, I gotta pass, but also thank you for the compliment regarding my model. I appreciate that. But also, I don't want this whole stream to be just me yapping about the topic. Because I want, if you guys have anything that you're concerned about or want to talk to each other regarding this situation, please feel free to go for it. Also, thank you for stopping by, Bob. This will definitely be a shorter stream because it's more so just to kind of have people talk about, because I realized that there probably is going to be a lot of people who aren't aware of what's going on, and we'll be able to, it can reach a lot more people regarding the situation, which is exactly why I wanted to go live to talk about it, and also for people to understand my stance on it, because it's not something I support, and I know I haven't been really too loud, like, or anything on social media about it, but that's mainly because I also want the people that are the ones kind of like more knowledgeable of the situation to be able to get what they're talking about in, and the importance, you know, like the meat of everything to, like, for them to be able to talk about it first, because I think what matters is the proper information, not necessarily everyone's opinions, but the information that people need to know. I think that needs to come out first in every scenario, and that's what I wanted there to be time for, rather than me being like, oh, yada yada yada, I'm gonna talk about this on Twitter because that's the hot topic, right? That's obviously not what I'm gonna do. But yeah, because people are, yeah, no, people are really mean to girls in IDV, like, kind of off the bat. And it feels like they're respected less. By the way, I made that jelly voice switch because I consider myself decently knowledgeable about esports. So I know from the inside 9% of things that happen, there are also cases like Lizzie/Sharon. Wait, what happened there? Also, thank you for the head pat and the hydration and the stretch. Give me 1 second here. Are you a therapist? I'm not. Oh, hold on. Let me see here. Fugal players. Wait. You guys know something that I think I don't. D-spot. Oh, I kind of drank something carbonated and maybe I might throw her a little bit. But I might make a video later this week once everything is released. I'm not gonna jump the gun here. I am already in my mind jumping the gun by making a live regarding the situation. But I promised I would, and I also want to kind of clarify a couple things for people, as well as again for us to talk about it. Oh, thank you for the plushie. This is you guys, by the way. Emotional support chat. Oh, that is absolutely lovely. What? It's almost scary how commonplace this is in IDV because of the misogyny. Don't be afraid. I mean, I understand why entirely. But I will say that if it's something that you enjoy and have a passion for, that you should, sometimes it's worth taking that risk. If it's something that you're going to enjoy, at the least, do it for yourself, you know? Like, do it for yourself to enjoy, for your friends to enjoy, especially if it's something that you want to be able to, okay, thank you for snatching my wig. Especially if it's something that you want to be able to connect with people with as well. There are going to be bad eggs 100% of the time, but there are also going to be people that are absolutely lovely and will connect with you based off of that too. And sometimes I think it's worth trying to overcome that fear and that anxiety for the better things that you can achieve too. You know, don't let that stop you. I mean, I know it's a lot easier to say than it is to do, but I'm just doing this for the money. I made like $6 last year. Yeah, get your money up. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, post-match in IDV is also naturally very toxic. It's crazy. Yeah, especially hunters. People get really upset whether a hunter even wins or loses. If you lose, you get mocked. If you win, you get like knocked. Where'd your ears go? They're actually pinned onto my hair. Fun fact. Orphea, I really hope you can get a good night's rest. I know this is a lot for certain people, you know? What have we talked about so far? Mainly Omni. The situation happening with Omni and a little bit of KON. Not too much there, but I just want to have memories to look back, play with my team. I say go for it then, because this is something that I used to do before I ever became a creator. I would record videos of game sessions with my friends and I would upload them onto my private channel, not for viewers, but to keep them. I would have them unlisted so that I can look back later for something to laugh on or something to even compare. Because there's that too, right? You can say, oh, a couple years ago, this is what I was like, right? Or this is what I sounded like. This is what I was into. These are the friends that I had. Or, you know, I feel like there are some things that you might miss out on because of those fears too, right? But take each step like at your own pace. And each step that you do take, I always say each step is a milestone. But also take it at your own pace and be proud of yourself for each step you do take, you know? And sometimes there will be occasionally a moment where you have to take a step back because something happens. And that's totally fine. And it's never going to be something you have to punish yourself for either. There's a reason why my post-match is off. I had a friend request sent when I played Duo Hunters as Hunter, and they said within the request to get better. That's just like ridiculous. Like, it's almost like they feel like is that necessary for them to be happy with themselves? I've never been able to understand why people feel like that's what they have to do. Yeah. I think this community in general is just very toxic. You must find joy to other things and other people. 100%. And like you said right before that there are people who are rotten. There's not much we can do about it. We gotta focus on the positivity as well and not just the negative. Oh, 100% as a solo player, it's easy to mess up, and a lot of people will not give you grace for it, which is also something I can't really understand. This game is so fast-paced. Every match is entirely different. Matchups are different, and they depend between characters too. It's not something you can necessarily base a whole opinion on someone and their skill based off of one match, right? Battle count to like ratio, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, to all my NAU people here who play Copycat, watch out for Benpai HD. He's a pedo with mountains of proof against him, and he asks school students for photos of them. Oh my gosh. And their uniform, and refer to a 15-year-old who's in her uniform as a snack. You know, I feel like there's a lot of certain people in Copycat in general that are like not trying to like forget about that. I'm saying like there are people like that in Copycat that I think the general population of the IDV community isn't aware of, because it's not something that they necessarily get to hear about, right? And it's important that people are also aware of. Like, normally we hear about people who play ranked. We don't hear about people who play Copycat, right? Someone told you ruined the game because you won as Hunter is crazy. Oh, yes, with Lion from Before You. I know Lion was kind of beating himself up during that matchup yesterday, mainly because of lag and he was being targeted out. But I know the community is also really proud of him as well. And I hope he knows that. Oh yeah, old players that get back into rank and they're like Hound 1 and then they kind of like bash on like people who are actually that rank. Yep, as Hunter, it's kind of a lose-lose socially. It's bad. But put an age limit on Copycat or like an age restriction. It has been a crazy time. Also, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, the community has Lions back. I know it's my first greeting to the identityv community. I am so sorry. Oh my gosh. I promise you not everyone is like this. I will say it is something that's predominant in the community right now, but I think it's something where the tide is finally changing in the favor of good morality, if that makes sense. And there are good people in this community too, I promise. And it's a fun game until you get certain people who are pretty toxic. What's my Twitch? It is the same username as my TikTok. Every username of mine is the same. Very unique, I know. Very diverse. Even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise. Like that's so cute. Oh my gosh. Also, I liked in his because for those of you who may not have seen, B4U have finally gotten like their little like characters to represent them, and Lion was like, I love my design. It was great. Yeah, true. It is a competitive game, which definitely makes it a lot harder. Well, most of the people who play Copycat regularly are open just killing or shooting people because of things like that. Good. I feel like it's something like if I saw the Copycat kill someone who was genuinely weird as hell, and they're like, listen, I killed them because of this, I'll be like, all right. Pretend my eyes were closed. Didn't see that. Your friend made their characters? Oh, that's so exciting. Congrats to them. Yes, the V4U designs are really pretty. Sorry, Automod is trying to bonk you for saying that you want to eat them. But they are so cute. I love them. Why to duplicate? Because it's very important. Copycat. That is honestly such a really fair concern to have regarding Copycat. I get that entirely. It is definitely always a risk, but Copycat is also fun too once you get like the right people in there. Stop playing Copycat because people are being rude for no reason. It's crazy, right? That happens. Ooh, I'm gonna have to check out their Twitter because I kind of want to see more of their art. Their art was so cute. Also, thank you for the follow on Twitch, May. I appreciate it. Make plushies. Ooh, little plushies of them. Wait, imagine they have like little plushie merch or like keychains of them too. That could be really cute. I got my legs. I love my legs. I know Aaron actually mentioned that his design was based off of Conan. Fun fact. Yes, there was a 6-7 reference in Green's design. It's a copycat in Among Us worse than that. Because of paranoia. No, I get that. I'll be honest, I kind of get stressed if I play copycat in Among Us and I get the bad roll because I'm kind of like a really bad liar. And I get really stressed. It feels like there's pressure to do well, but I also know that it's hard for me to do well. So I just pray that I get a good roll and I'm innocent every time. And it's fine if you kill me, okay? I just don't want to have to have the pressure of killing anyone and having to lie about it. It's like, can't do it. I just can't. Yeah. Yes, by the way, for those of you who did not see the announcement, Z's is now the manager of B4U. Big congrats to Z's, by the way. I am so proud of him. I've been really worried about him lately, especially with everything happening, and I am just so glad to see that this is something so exciting for him happening because I think he deserves it. Like 100% deserves this opportunity. I'm sure he's probably anxious about it, and I'm sure it's something that he's nervous doing well, because I feel like Z definitely holds himself to a certain standard. He 100% does. You guys probably have noticed it for those of you who watch Z's. He definitely holds himself to a very high standard. But I am so excited for him and I'm so proud of him. He deserves everything good, like 100%. He's someone who cares so much. I'm like a very big Z's glazer, if you couldn't tell. Like, and I say this as a friend rather than a viewer right now. Especially like getting to know him, like as the person behind the screen, right? He is amazing. He's such a sweetheart. He cares so much. He's very hardworking. Like, I think 100% this is something he deserves. But does that mean he won't be able to stream Koa? That is honestly a question I'm not quite positive. I think it will be difficult. I'm also not sure. Wait, I think he may have mentioned something about that on stream, but I'm not quite sure if it was in regards to this Koa or the other qualifiers about them having to be videos rather than live. But yeah, but big shout out to Z's and congrats to him. I'm very proud of him for this, as I'm sure a lot of us are. March 2, Z's joined V4. Oh yeah. That was for other calls? Okay. That thank you for the clarification. A little Z's plushie, tuck it in at night. Bro, everyone get like a little Z's plushie, like take it around, like look at Z's at the I don't know, Disney World or something. And drop some keychains too. Oh gosh. Oh no. Do you know if Z's will go to China with B4U? Honestly, I'm not sure. I think that's something I can ask him for him to also address on stream, and I'm sure that's also something that people will ask him too. On stream when he does go live. But I can definitely ask him. I don't think it's something I'm going to say in his stead, because I think that's something that obviously people will want to hear from him instead. But for my own curiosity, because I love to bug Z's, I'm kind of like a little mosquito when it comes to my friends sometimes. Like, I'm either off the radar entirely or I'm bugging them for a couple days and then I'm off the radar again. That's just kind of how I am as a person. Yeah, Z's tries to uphold the good in the community. And I think a lot of it also affects him too, emotionally, which is why I was worried about him. So it really makes me glad to see that he got this opportunity right now, and I hope that's something that uplifts him, you know? So, nice dog of the week, naughty dog of the week, bit my butt. Oh my gosh. It was like Z's and Schmitty. And Z's is the nice dog of the week every single week. Ooh, maybe. We'll definitely see. Members, I don't know. Oh, the little Byakko plushie. I kind of like considered like maybe seeing if like there's like an independent vendor I can talk to regarding it being a plushie, because look at him. His name is Byakko, for those of you who are curious. He is our resident mascot. For those of you who may not know, I actually used to be a Baiza before I was a Pomeranian. Which is why our mascot is also Chinese mythology related. Which is also why my username is Baiza, by the way. But his name is Byakko. My friends helped me name him because I'm bad with names. This is the reason why my username is literally Baiza Mim. Because I was a Baiza, my name is Mim. Now how I got my name, it's because my old username was Mimi, which was off of my actual name that I named myself, because for those of you who also may not know, I have a weird relationship with gender. I don't know what it is. So it was Mimi, and then I just ate the I don't know why. So it was Mim. I got a little hungry, so we just went Mim. It was also kind of based off of Mimikyu, because Mimikyu is my favorite Pokemon. So there was Mimi, and then I ate it, and it was Mim. And I was a bias, so it was a Biza, Mim. I'm really good with names, guys. You gotta give me some credit, right? You know. Mimikyu is my favorite Pokemon of all time. Absolutely love Mimikyu. I have many Mimikyu plushes, and I have many Red Panda plushes. I consider being a Red Panda VTuber. But I also love the Biza, and I think they're very underrated. And now there are no more Biza VTubers because I'm dead. I'm a Pomeranian now. So, hi, Lonnie. The Pixar Life Squash the second. Yeah, that's true. Also, thank you for the daily prayer, Lottie. My relationship with gender is confusing. I just choose to ignore it. I just pretend it's kind of not a thing. So whatever the bit fits, you can call me that, you know? Like, if one thing fits one bit, that's okay, right? Okay, just do what you want. No, the ads. Why? Also, thank you. I look, you thought you were a mouse. I understand. Have you guys seen my Fugi? It looks a little bit like a mouse. People have also thought I was a koala. A Domino's ad. Pizza? Also, good morning, Alani. An insurance ad? You can keep that one, actually. My ear won't pop. I have this weird sinus thing that happens. Big ears. Do you use specific pronouns? No, not really. I kind of go with the flow. Anything is fine. I used to have a preference for he, they, but now I just kind of don't care. Like, you can just call me anything you want, and I'm totally cool with that. I think the one thing I just don't like is when people call me a man. It feels kind of weird to me. I think it's just because of my personal emotional relationship with kind of men in general, because for me it's definitely kind of a trauma thing. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't want to be called a man. Which is weird because also, I'm just gonna momentarily talk about this. The scam bam, what? The scam, the one fish that I was during EU League when I was commentating for it yesterday. Dude, sexuality, I think I'm demisexual is what I think I probably am. But like a sapphic lean, probably, is my guess. Labels are weird and they're kind of hard. And I always say this too, and I'm gonna keep it for myself as well. Don't be pressured to feel like you have to label everything. You don't. You do not have to try and decipher every little bit of your identity to be valid. Ever. Okay? So I'm just putting that out there, and I hope you guys will also hold yourself to that standard. You don't feel like you have to label yourself. Like, ever. That is not something necessary, and that's something that, in all honesty, people expect of you. Ignore them. Because you're valid regardless, and you don't need to worry about that. If it's something that you're not sure about, or you're stressed about, don't worry about it, okay? Guess this will trust me. Oh my gosh. We're just people here. Entities, if you will. That's why sometimes I say, but I also don't want to be clipped out of context by calling people gender entities. But sometimes I like to say, oh, hello ladies, gentlemen, and gender entities. But I don't want people to think that I'm like trying to be derogatory about that. I don't know. But I'm not trying to. I'm Seal. All right, perfect. Wait, who did we hear about? Gosh, you guys are also making me hungry. Yeah, labels are for people who want to be described. 100%. Oh no, you're totally fine. I appreciate the question. Oh, maybe scroll all the way to the top. Oh my gosh. Twitch being funky today. And that also goes for any of you guys. If there's any time where I use like the wrong pronoun, I'll be honest, a lot of the time I will refer to you guys as your username, as you, or I will automatically kind of say they because that's kind of my default. But I also know some people do not like they being used as a pronoun. And if that's ever the case, or if you just have a preference, let me know and I will do my best to remember it. I will say I have kind of a bad memory, but that's also something I want to respect. I'm Red Panda. Seal Sona. All right, guys, we get to make a Seal Sona. Can we do that? Please do your chemistry homework, Kenna. Chemistry homework and then EP, all right? I'm supposed to be making food, but I lost my second earbud. Maybe you'll find it when you're making food. It'll be in the food. One blocked message. I was gonna say something, but I forgot. Oh, that kind of reminds me. Because this was something that was said by not only a previous acquaintance of mine who lied about me, and I had to approach that. They made very, very crazy accusations towards me that were very insane, and they lied about everything, and they lied about my personal relationships. Oh, I think it said that YouTube, I think, got murked. I'm not quite sure. Oh no, it's back up. But also by another creator, Lonnie. I'm sure you also know. I will probably just say the creator because I have talked about it publicly before, that being Faust, who straight up said I was a man trying to benefit off of a female image. And I was like, I've said all the time that I'm gender fluid or non-binary. And that's been also on my public reference sheets, and that I go by any pronoun. When have I ever tried to actively benefit off of being a female, saying I'm a man? But also, what benefit do I have coming off as a femme anyways in IDV? What? Like, what benefit do I get off of that in the IDV community? Hello? I don't think that's a thing. Scratches cheek. Not the case, by the way. They also tried to say that I was it was a weird situation. It was a weird DMs. Would I be 67K? All right, you're getting banned. I can't say it here. Uh-oh, I'm scared. People always wanting to nitpick without knowing nothing. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And this is the whole situation that happened last year was insane. But sometimes people will do what they want to do, and I'm also still being stalked by both parties, and it's kind of scary. Out of curiosity, I kind of checked one of them. I'm like, I should probably add this to the block list for this. And then they had me blocked on Twitter, and I'm like, that's weird. On my different account, not my Mim account. My other account, which some people are aware, some people aren't aware. And they just like know, and I'm like, that's weird. Because they're supposed to have me blocked on all my accounts. And then the content creator has also been keeping tabs on me. And I'm just like, that's weird. That's kind of odd. Guys, I'll be honest. If someone is kind of like that obsessed with you, but I guess that means you're just stuck in their head. I kind of made like a joking tweet, then I took it down because I'm like, I'm not gonna make this a big deal right now in case someone tries to take it out of context. I was like, my ops are still keeping tabs on me. You obsessed? You love me? Like, dude, imagine a relationship and someone was that obsessed with you. Like, damn, just say you like me. I don't know, Also, hi Delvis. Hello. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting, but it's not something I'm going to be fighting over. There are definitely more important things to worry about, and there are many good things to focus on. So, focus on the good, focus on yourself, focus on your own improvement, right? So that's something to touch grass. They're secretly your #1 fan. Oh my god, guys, I think I have a secret admirer. Do you want my photograph? Can you make more guides? They're so helpful. I will definitely work on it. I will say I'm going to be very busy from now on, especially for a couple months trying to settle into certain things. But once I have a little more time, I will definitely be working on some guides. I know a couple people asked about a kiting guide, but I may actually do some counter guides instead, as in like countering certain characters that people struggle with. And I'll probably actually end up putting out, this will be Twitter sided, but probably like a tweet like saying, hey, what is a hunter that the general population of IDV struggles the most into and would like to see tips directed towards, you know, esports. I love IDV esports, actually. When I was still employed, I would always watch IDV esports, especially if Z's had a video on it. Which to me is crazy thinking about now, because like I used to watch Z's all the time at one point, and to think that we became friends to me is like, whoa, that's crazy. Make a clown guide. Tempting. Rescuing guides. Sometimes I get tempted to send my rescue guide to people by myself, but I'm like, no, that's kind of toxic. But it genuinely would help if people see it, right? How much longer do you plan on streaming? I think I'm going to end here soon. Kiting with Andrew, that is a good one. Kiting with rescue in general, I think could also be pretty good. But yeah, I think we will probably end here soon, especially because I have to prepare for something else later tonight. How did you and Z's become friends? I joined a creator server, kind of started yapping, and then I was invited to Riptide, and from there, I was really nervous talking to Z's at first. But we kind of slowly gravitated towards each other, talking more, becoming friends, like appearing on streams together, playing 5v5s or preparing for tournaments, and it just kind of like floated naturally, gravitated, you know? I am hype for Koa coming up. Merc Kite Guide, yeah, rescue Kite Guide, you know? Yeah, how did we get here? Where are we? Yuko, you're getting banned. But yeah, I think we will be probably ending stream. Let me see here who is streaming, because I do need to eat. And I also need to prepare for something later tonight. Let me see who is doing what. I kind of want to raid into someone. Team RC, Swirls Hair. Well, who are those weirdos? I'm kidding. Let me see here who we're gonna raid out to, because I want to raid into someone that we either haven't seen in a while or we haven't seen at all. Let me see here. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like many people are streaming IDV right now, actually. Let's see here. Who are we feeling for my Twitters? I want to be a CC just to make friends. Honestly, that is so valid. That is so valid. I thought that said $10 Merc main, and I got really confused. I'm like, we have prices now for mains? Didn't even put a trigger warning for Smiley. Trigger warning. Oh, dude, if I make a guy guide into wax artist for Smiley, I'll be like, trigger warning. This video contains content on wax artists. Anyways, let me see here. If you want to recommend one, I do not mind. I could also just kind of look through my following list here, see what everyone's up to. I don't see any. I was hoping maybe someone's like playing Resident Evil and I can like, wait, baking and horror and room. I thought I said horror room review. Also, hi chef, hello. That's a like horror room review, which I think would have been really funny. Just have like a scary, decrepit room. Did I miss stream again? Ever so slightly. We're trying to figure out who we want to kind of raid into here. What if anyone's doing maybe a charity? Can we throw tomatoes at Mocha? We could put Mocha. Let me see here. Oh, Mocha is streaming. Well, what are you guys feeling? Do you want to go raid Mocha? I love horror. I was about to recommend a non-IDV streamer. I mean, whatever you guys prefer too, because you know you guys are the ones that I'm sending off to the void. Let me see here. But I will say Mocha is an absolute sweetheart who does play IDV as well. And I can send you guys on over if you guys are curious. Full playthrough every Resident Evil game. Fun fact, I actually was gonna do that. And I probably will, but it will not be on Mim. I can talk more about that another time. Universal John 5317 and Rosemary's Tavern. I'll keep this. I'm actually gonna screenshot this and put this in my personal server so I have this for next time. I do know of Uni. And I'm going to take the I recommend serum. I wonder who that is, guys. Also, thank you, Mask. Let me go ahead and start the raid. We'll go into Mocha, who's actually playing Honkai Star Rail right now. We will go into Mocha Man PT. And I unfortunately will have to raid and run. Let me get the raid message for those of you who are going with the raid. And I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll probably be doing rank. I do want to do more streams for IDV that aren't just rank. Like practice for a character, maybe some copycats, some community duos, etc, etc. But we will be ending stream here, and then I will see you guys all tomorrow. And I will say again, please take care. Please take care of yourselves, take breaks. Make sure you guys stay hydrated, that you're eating food, rest up. You need to make sure you're taking care of yourself, especially with everything happening right now. And I will also say, please remember to treat each other and yourselves with kindness. 100% of the time. Treat each other with respect, with kindness, especially right now. It's a hard time. It's a hard time with the community, and it's a hard time in real life. So don't forget that. But I will see you guys soon. You guys have a good one, and bye-bye.